Our story today is about a very different kind of apocalypse, not one caused by meteors, zombies, or nuclear war, but a world where people's faith in God had already faded away, and then disaster struck. The question is, how would humanity react? Would people finally turn back to God, or would they fall prey to fear, politics, and chaos? This is what we are about to discover in today's story. The beginning is shocking. Almost 90 million people suddenly vanish from Earth. No one knows where they went or how it even happened. It wasn't something anyone saw coming. People simply disappeared into thin air, as if erased from existence. The event was not just strange, it was terrifying. Panic gripped the world. Cities erupted into chaos. Some people turned violent, destroying everything around them. Others pointed fingers, blaming governments and conspiracies for the disaster. A few even claimed it was the work of aliens. But among all this confusion, very few were willing to admit the unthinkable truth: that this could be an act of God's wrath, a prophecy written about long ago in the Bible, now unfolding before their very eyes. Meanwhile, we meet Jonathan, a wealthy man who owned a giant social networking business. Jonathan was buying out more news companies and platforms so that no information could go out without his approval. In his mind, he had a grand plan, and this disaster gave him the perfect opportunity to execute it. What no one knew yet was that Jonathan was secretly constructing a temple in Israel. On the other side, we meet Rayford Steele, a man fixing things at his home. In that wave of disappearances, Rayford's wife had also vanished. Her absence left him devastated. He had never believed in God, though his wife often asked him to pray with her. She even warned him about the troubles to come, but Rayford dismissed it, thinking she was joking. Only after she disappeared did he realize she had been right all along. Now he longed to believe in her words, but it was too late. Rayford was a professional pilot, and when the mysterious wave struck, he was flying a plane. Suddenly, his co-pilot disappeared mid-flight, and in that very moment, Rayford remembered what his wife had said. But even though he finally understood, there was nothing he could do. Next, we meet a famous news reporter named Cameron, who was interviewing a woman about the mental health crisis after the mass disappearances. Cameron explained how murders and thefts had skyrocketed, and how the world had descended into chaos and panic. In response, the woman said that people shouldn't panic, spread rumors, or protest. Instead, they should simply stay home and remain calm. This made Cameron angry, and he told her, "People don't want stories, they just want the truth and real answers." The woman then revealed that the government had predicted another wave was coming soon, one that would make even more people vanish. Cameron immediately asked on what basis she was making such a claim. She replied that scientists had developed models suggesting it. Cameron pressed her to share more details, but unfortunately, she had none. And right at that moment, the live broadcast was abruptly cut off. Furious, Cameron demanded to know who had stopped the live feed. The staff told him that it was the boss himself who had given the order. Cameron went straight to confront his boss. He told him that he would no longer interview such people because they were only scaring the population. But the boss replied, "Fear is necessary. It's the only way to keep the population under control." Hearing this enraged Cameron even more, and just then, Cameron started having many arguments with his boss. Things escalated to the point where his boss even threatened to cancel Cameron's most popular show. Hearing this, Cameron quietly stepped back. After all, no matter how popular he was, he still needed a platform. So without saying anything further, he simply walked away. Just then, a woman suddenly entered his room. She told him that a Romanian man had been chosen as the new president of the United Nations. The shocking part was that he had never even participated in the election. Meanwhile, we see Chloe, the daughter of Rayford. Rayford's wife had vanished, and so had his son. This left Chloe deeply missing her brother. That day, she went into his room, lay down on his bed, and began thinking about him. Slowly, she drifted off to sleep, and in her dream, she found herself in heaven. But when she did not see her brother there, she suddenly woke up, filled with grief, and started crying, remembering him. Just like Rayford, Chloe too was full of regret that she had never listened to her mom and brother, both of whom were believers. Among the people, a theory was spreading. Those who had disappeared were the ones chosen by God to enter heaven, while those who were left behind were the non-believers. Gradually, more and more people began to believe in this theory. On the other hand, Cameron went to meet his hacker friend, Dirk. Earlier, Cameron had asked Dirk to investigate possible reasons behind the sudden disappearances. When they met, Dirk revealed a shocking truth. All the news that was spreading recently was coming from a single company called Dominator Analytics. This meant that the head of Dominator Analytics was the one controlling the entire global narrative. Strange as it sounded, Dirk went further. He revealed that not only Dominator Analytics, but several major studios and social platforms across the world were directly or indirectly owned by one man, Jonathan. For years, Jonathan had been controlling the world's press. His goal was simple: to show the same kind of news everywhere, thereby controlling the thoughts of the entire world. In this way, people would only receive the information that Jonathan wanted them to see. Shockingly, even the news channel Cameron worked for was indirectly owned by Jonathan. That explained why Cameron's boss never wanted the channel to go against the government. Meanwhile, Chloe was going through her mother's Bible. She wanted to know whether her mother had truly known about all these things in advance. After that, she went to meet her boyfriend, who was none other than Cameron himself. Cameron explained to her the hectic life of a news reporter and confessed that he was working for people who didn't even care about the truth. He even admitted that he was thinking of quitting his job. Chloe tried to convince him otherwise. She told him that people believed in him because they expected him to bring out the truth and that he shouldn't give up so easily. Just then, their phones buzzed with a new message. It warned that everyone should be prepared because a second wave of disappearances was coming soon. Seeing this, Cameron immediately rushed back to the studio. As a reporter, it was his duty to inform people of breaking news. Within minutes, he was live on air, announcing the possibility of a second wave, but the mystery still remained. Nobody had actually witnessed anyone disappearing in front of their eyes. At the same time, an international meeting was being held at the United Nations. There, Jonathan addressed the world, saying that global fear had caused the stock markets to crash. And now, the only solution was for the entire world to unite under one single government. He further introduced the concept of Eden Pay, a single global currency designed to help in these troubling times. Almost every nation accepted this proposal, except for Israel. After this, Cameron had a conversation with his boss, Steve. He expressed his doubts. He didn't believe there was any second wave coming. Instead, he was convinced that this was all Jonathan's doing, deliberately spreading fear among people, just so he could force the entire world to follow his governance. Hearing all this, Steve warns Cameron to stay away from the matter because it was too risky and could drag him into serious trouble. Meanwhile, we see Rayford, who wanted to read the Bible but was too lazy to sit down and open the book. So instead, he tried reading it on the internet. But to his shock, he discovered that all the books of the Bible and all related content had been removed from the internet. There wasn't even a single app left through which someone could read the Bible. He also found videos showing that Bibles had been removed manually from churches as well, something that worried him even more. To confirm it for himself, Rayford went to the church where his wife used to attend regularly. On the other side, Chloe found a photograph in her mother's Bible. It was of some women her mother had once helped. So Chloe decided to visit them. But while she was on the way, a thief attacked her. She managed to escape by using pepper spray and afterward finally met the two women. Back in the church, Rayford noticed that indeed, there were no Bibles kept anywhere. There he met Pastor Bruce, which surprised him. Because if all true believers had vanished in the first wave, then how is the pastor still here? Pastor explained that while he preached and gave knowledge about the Bible to others, he himself had never truly believed in it. Rayford then asked if he genuinely thought all this was happening because of the rapture mentioned in the Bible. Pastor replied, yes. After this, both of them went to Rayford's house and began studying the Bible more deeply. From this, Rayford realized that there was also a prophecy of a 7-year tribulation period, which would begin once Israel signed a peace treaty with 7 enemy nations, something that would happen under the influence of an Antichrist figure. Pastor then admitted with regret that he never had faith in God, because if he had, he too would probably have been taken to heaven like the others. Rayford encouraged him, saying that it was not too late. They could still make things right by helping others. He then showed Pastor a very old book written by a former preacher specifically for those who would be left behind after the rapture. After this, the two of them knelt down and wholeheartedly accepted God. On the other side, Dirk was trying to hack into Eden Company's network. But because it was locked with multiple layers of codes, he couldn't break through. Suddenly, he received a message from an unknown number containing a password he desperately needed. At first, he couldn't believe it, but when he tested it, it actually worked and gave him full access to Eden's network. He began exploring their system just as Cameron also arrived. Dirk told him that Eden was officially only a payment company, but judging from the codes in its network, it clearly wasn't limited to that. Meanwhile, Nikolai, the new leader of the UN, made his public appearance, and people treated him like a celebrity since everyone adored him. Soon, Dirk realized that EdenPay's system was not just handling payments, but was also capturing users' personal and biometric data, which meant that if someone didn't use EdenPay, they would automatically be cut off from society. Jonathan's true goal behind this was total control over the world. At that moment, the unknown contact who had shared the password reached out again. They said they would come live and expose Jonathan's secrets in front of the whole world, but only if the broadcast could be done globally and simultaneously. Hearing this, Cameron began to seriously think about it, because it was a huge and dangerous move. Meanwhile, Rayford invited his daughter Chloe to come to church, but she refused. However, the women she had gone to meet earlier made an excuse and brought Chloe along to church anyway. On the other side, Cameron, after careful thought, collected all the evidence he had and went to his boss Steve. He presented everything to him and asked him to broadcast it live through his show. But Steve refused, telling him that the network was being run under their orders, and following their instructions, Cameron was fired. After finding this out, Cameron, Dirk, and Cameron's assistant decided to interview the man who had contacted them. While they were traveling by car, they noticed that someone was following them. As Dirk went near the car, he realized that a bomb was planted inside it. Before he could do anything, the bomb exploded, killing Dirk on the spot. Meanwhile, Chloe, Rayford, and a few others were in the church where the pastor was answering everyone's questions. Chloe asked him something, and in response, the pastor explained that when the time comes to go to heaven, God will first take those who are already dead, whose bodies have returned to the dust. These words deeply touched Chloe's heart. That night, she went to her mother's grave, where Cameron also arrived. Together, they opened it, only to discover that her mother's body wasn't there. Instead, only her clothes remained. Seeing this, Chloe broke down in tears, and at that very moment, she too developed complete faith in the Bible. On the other side, Nikolai met Jonathan. He told Jonathan that he would only approve his Eden pay if Jonathan promised to make him his successor. Jonathan agreed. Dirk's death made Cameron furious, and he was now determined to expose Jonathan's truth at any cost. For this reason, he contacted Chaim, the Israeli founder of Eden Pay, who revealed to him everything about Jonathan's plans. When Chaim learned about this, he immediately called Nikolai and informed him. As a result, both Jonathan and Cameron were summoned for a meeting. Before this meeting, Chloe took Cameron to the church, where the pastor explained to him about the 7-year peace treaty with Israel. He also said that all of this would happen because of the Antichrist, who was probably Jonathan. The pastor further explained that during this time, a temple would also be built over the Dome of the Rock. But since Cameron was a non-believer, he didn't trust any of this. Afterward, he went to meet Chaim. Cameron showed him all the documents he had collected. After looking through them, Chaim agreed to take action against Jonathan. He also revealed more details about Israel's peace treaty and how, as part of it, a temple would indeed be built on the Dome of the Rock. Hearing this left Cameron completely shocked. Making an excuse, he rushed to the bathroom, where he broke down in tears, realizing that everything the pastor had said was true. At that moment, Cameron too became a believer. During the UN meeting, Cameron presented all the evidence he had collected in front of everyone. Jonathan had no idea that anyone was even plotting against him. Suddenly, Nikolai stood up and openly opposed Jonathan, shooting him right there. The attack was so sudden that everyone assumed Jonathan was killed by a disguised guard. But in reality, Nikolai himself had given Dirk the secret password earlier. Now, after becoming Jonathan's successor, he betrayed him and had him killed, proving that Nikolai was, in fact, the true Antichrist. With this shocking revelation, the meeting came to an end. Even after this, Cameron didn't give up. With Connor's help, he started a live broadcast, revealing everything that had happened in the meeting to the entire world. But as soon as he left the meeting, many assassins chased him down, trying to kill him. Cameron, however, skillfully managed to escape and reached a private jet, where Chloe and all their close allies were already waiting for him. As they departed, they scattered pamphlets along the way, each carrying words from the Bible. They did this with the hope that maybe, just maybe, these pamphlets could help save some people from the troubles to come. And with that, this thrilling movie comes to an end. But now, I want to hear from you. What was the most shocking moment for you in this story? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'll be waiting to read them. If you enjoyed the recap, give this video a big like. It really helps. And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss out on more exciting movie stories. Want more? We've already prepared a hand-picked playlist for you. It's right up in the corner. Click on it and dive straight into more amazing recaps just like this one. We've got plenty more gripping stories coming your way. Until then, stay tuned, stay curious, and I'll catch you in the next video.